My sister hates our dad's new fiancé and is doing everything in her power to ruin their engagement, but tonight she went too far and said she'd never want her to be our adoptive mother, and now she may never come back. I am really angry right now at my stupid entitled brat of a sister. I want to use a different B word, but I don't think I can post with it, just know it is the one I mean. I wish I could type out just how much I hate her right now, so maybe this will help. There's so much I want to yell at her, or just get off my chest, but we're at our grandparents' place and I can't lash out at her like she deserves, and she knows it too. I don't know how much of it is relevant, but here goes, hoping I'm less angry when I'm done. My family is me and my twin Sebastian, 16M, and he's writing this with me, our sister Lisa, 17F, our dad Sean, 41M, and our former future stepmom Amy, 36F. Our mom died 9 years ago. Dad didn't date for 5 years, then briefly dated a disaster called Riley, then took another break from dating. He met Amy around 3 years ago, introduced us 2 years ago, we all moved together to a bigger house a year ago, and they got engaged 6 months ago. Before Riley was even in the picture, we weren't thrilled Dad had started dating again, but we went to therapy as a family to work through it. We made peace with it for most part, but then Riley came, and she was just the worst. She was rude, jealous of our mom's memory, gold digger, didn't like us, she was all around horrible. The three of us kind of made an agreement that we would not allow anyone to erase our mom, we would never allow anyone to adopt us, and we would be polite but keep our distance from whomever Dad dated. It felt like we were honoring Mom that way, without stopping our dad from moving on. We also started calling the three of us plus Dad the core four. Getting to know Amy though, and then moving in together, we have done a 180 on that, me and Seb more than Lisa. Amy is just a good person. She is crazy smart and nerdy, has like 3 degrees, 1 in psychology which explains a lot, and we all play D&D together. She is successful, artistic, athletic, and deadpan hilarious. She has an energy like when we're around family and they're all loud and crazy, she talks and people just shut up and listen. Don't know how best to describe that, like she is wise and kind and patient, but also an absolute Sigma Bab. She is cool to hang out with, and she loves our dad. She also sets him straight a lot, we kind of default to her as our neutral third party when there's a disagreement, and she is very good at navigating that. She is just really cool. She is also genuinely interested in our lives and hobbies, she has at least one thing with each of us. Seb and her do artsy stuff and they both play tennis, she plays video games with me, she and Lisa read a lot and go book shopping like every few months, the house is filled with books, she is teaching Lisa how to drive, they are both K-pop fans etc. I honestly think they clicked more quickly and naturally, and vibe the best, whenever Lisa allows it. Amy also never stops us talking about our mom, she respectfully encourages it. There's a few pictures of Mom around the house still and she's totally okay with that, like she is not threatened by Mom's presence at all. She once helped Seb make a painting of a photo of the 5 of us, Dad, Mom, Lisa, me and Seb, for our maternal granddad's birthday. Even my mom's family like her, my aunt, Mom's sister, and her have become good friends. She asks them and Dad about Mom when we mention something we all used to do, and we found out a few months ago that she also lost her dad when she was 12. I think that settled a lot of things for Lisa, who I know sometimes uses our mom to try to spite Amy, though again, Amy would either kill her with kindness or just move on. Dad loves Amy, and she makes him happy. Like, she is his balance in a way. They go so well together. Our dad is awesome, patient, smart, strict but kind, goofy sometimes, he has his own hang-ups but he is slow to anger and always open to discuss anything with us. He doesn't yell at us, much, but he is supportive and overall has been a great dad. She and Dad made it very clear she has absolutely no intention of replacing Mom, that she's a person of authority in the household without being a parent, that she's open to whatever relationship we want to have with her and it's a two-way street. She has never demanded or pushed for anything other than basic human-to-human respect and kindness. Why Lisa sucks? While we are really doing well and getting along great, Lisa sometimes gets whiplash and randomly regresses to Riley time, especially after Amy and her spend time together having fun. It's like she's trying to rile Amy up to justify why she thinks Dad dating is a bad idea. She snaps at random stuff just to bump heads, only it's not working very well because Amy is just not bumping. She isn't engaging Lisa when she's like this, she will maybe set a boundary, like I will not engage with you when you act like this, and after that is completely uninterested in Lisa's outbursts, and lets our dad handle it. It doesn't feel like it's out of spite though. Best I can describe it is Amy is living her life, legit happily and willingly making offers and openings to all of us, Lisa included, without making a big deal out of it. When Lisa doesn't participate and or says something snarky or downright rude, Amy just shrugs and goes on with her life. If we ask her if she's upset or angry at Lisa for lashing out, she says she understands how Lisa must be feeling, that everyone is allowed a tantrum every once in a while, and that she knows Lisa is a good girl and she will come around on her own. And true enough, when Lisa then calms down and apologizes, with or without Dad's mediation, Again, Amy doesn't make a big deal out of it and they pick up where they left off. For example, we were having dinner and Lisa was arguing with her and Dad, and said she didn't want what Amy cooked because it smelled disgusting and started insulting Amy's country where the dish was from, even though she usually loves it. Amy just said suit yourself like she could not care less, served the rest of us, and sat down and started eating and talking to Seb and I. Dad took Lisa to talk and after they came back, he asked Amy if it would be okay for Lisa to still sit and eat with us. Amy said sure and continued chatting. Lisa apologized for her comments, without Dad prompting her, and Amy just smiled, said thank you and kept talking to Seb like nothing happened. When the conversation naturally drifted to something related to Lisa, Amy just spoke to her normally. The issue is, the very few times Amy does respond in kind, when she's tired or has had enough, nothing we say gets to her, like she stops caring. Like she gets suddenly quiet and throws something back at you, and you just never expect it, because overwhelmingly she is the calm and mature one when there's an issue. Seb calls this sneak attack by Amy. If I could pick one flaw of Amy, that would be it. She is just brutal sometimes when she's had enough, or something bad happens at work, and it just comes out of left field. She destroys you and doesn't even blink. It is immensely enjoyable to witness when she goes Saba on our behalf, but not so much when we trigger it. To clarify, Amy is ridiculously patient 99% of the time, and incredibly effective in managing conflict. She also can recognize when she's close to that line, so she either steps away or warns us, and we usually understand and back off, and then she follows up on her own and she always says thank you for waiting to talk. If she goes too low when sabang, she always apologizes and makes amends. We are quite good at communicating as a family for the most part, thanks to her mostly, but once in a while when we push and Amy goes there it's not good. Sometimes it's just snark, like once I told her, F you mid-fight, Amy just shrugged and said your father does that enough, I'll let him know he has your blessing. Seb was yelling about a missed practice, his fault, she yawned mid-sentence and got up, he was like WTF where are you going? And she was like I'm not interested in a baby throwing a tantrum. It is worse with Lisa, because Lisa goes personally when she's angry. But when the Saba line is crossed, Amy just doesn't care. Lisa once asked, how does it feel to know you wouldn't be here if our mom was still alive? Amy thought about it and said I would probably be living my best life in the Bahamas with a rich European prince and no brats to bust my balls, so much better. Another time Amy was having a pregnancy scare, and Lisa said something like you will never have children of your own and Amy just said I hope not, I like my thing tight, and so does your dad. It always shocks us when she goes Saba because she is usually kind, considerate and patient. The core four have discussed all of this in therapy, and Lisa acknowledges she's just scared and angry at the idea of Amy replacing mom, though we all point out just how uninterested Amy is in that role. I personally don't feel like she would ever replace mom, and we joke sometimes about calling each other mother/son. When Lisa acts out, there are always consequences from dad, things are discussed in therapy, and for a while everything is calm again. The therapist suggested we add Amy to our sessions once in a while, but Lisa is not open to that yet. Dad is also bringing up more often whether Lisa should get individual therapy, but she doesn't want to. Legit, Lisa and Amy get along so well when Lisa isn't behaving like this. What happened yesterday? Yesterday the three of us, Seb, I and Lisa, spent time with our grandparents and cousins, helped them with the snow, then grabbed dinner, and came home late. Dad and Amy were talking about wedding stuff in the kitchen, and we overheard Dad discussing adoption very loosely, like if Amy would ever be up for it if we wanted to at some point as adults. Lisa immediately lost it, burst in and started screaming at him about mom, that she hates him, that he is only thinking with his meat, then turned to Amy, started insulting her, wished her dead, and said I will never want a C-word, like you to be my mom. Amy just very calmly said what makes you think I would ever choose you to be my daughter? That one hurt Lisa, like we could see the physical recoil. Dad took her up to her room and they talked for a long time, there were raised voices, then Lisa was crying, but couldn't tell what was being said. Amy stayed down, talking to us, clarifying the adoption conversation was entirely hypothetical. We asked her more questions, she was responding slowly and quietly. She didn't answer us when we asked about wedding prep or how she was feeling. She was shaking and trying to keep it together, I have never seen her like this. We were quiet for a bit, then Seb told her what she said was a very low blow, and she smiled sadly and just said maybe so. When Dad came down, Amy got up in slow motion, put on her coat, gathered some stuff and was out the door in like 2 minutes. Dad was almost crying, trying to get her to stay and talk. It was late, snowing, she was whispering not tonight. I have to leave. Be there for your sons. I'm sorry over and over and she started crying and she got in her car and left. We sat down with Dad, he was a mess, he let us know Lisa will be getting individual therapy on top of family therapy and it was non-negotiable. He asked us if we felt we needed individual therapy as well. Seb said no, I said I'm not sure right now, and we tried to talk a bit about what happened. He asked how we are feeling, but he was a wreck and then he started tearing up, so we just hugged him and he cried so hard. He cried so much. I have not seen my dad cry so hard since mom died. He kept telling us it's okay and he didn't want us to worry, but he was just crying and I had no words. I just kept saying I am sorry, and Seb was telling him it will be okay and Amy will be back and we will all work it out, and he kept saying no she won't, not this time she won't. He then started saying he was sorry, and asked if we knew he loved us, and then he asked if he had neglected us, if we felt he didn't love us enough after Amy moved in, if he was a good dad. I wanted to P_NCH Lisa so hard in that moment, for making him doubt that even for a second. As if moving on from our mom after almost a decade, and landing someone he is genuinely happy with and who is a good person, is a sin. Amy wasn't in the house today. Dad has red eyes and he looks like he has aged 10 years. He said good morning. I asked if Amy came home last night. He said no but not to worry and she is safe. He spoke very quietly, made us breakfast. When Lisa came down, he just gave her a look and turned around, didn't speak to her. She started crying, saying she's sorry, and went to hug him. He stepped back and told her I don't want to hug you right now and his voice was just shattered. She just lost it and kept crying and apologizing, kept saying she really likes Amy and she wants them to get married and for him to be happy. She said she loves him, and kept asking if he still loves her, and Dad said I will always love you as my daughter, but I don't love you as Lisa right now. I think that's the harshest thing he has ever said to any of us. I didn't think he had it in him. I am glad he said it. I am happy Lisa kept crying. She deserves it. We are back with our grandparents. Dad said he's trying to get Amy to come to the house and talk in person. We haven't told our grandparents all the details, nor do they know all the vile stuff that Lisa says to Amy, because I know they will be so disappointed in her. I hate her right now. She's pretending to read in the corner but she flips a page every like 10 minutes. God, I want to yell at her so bad, like tear her a new one and let her have it. I'm practically vibrating. If she ruins this for Dad, for all of us, like dang. I hate her so much right now. That's it. I don't feel better. Screw her. Commenter. Man, this is tough. The first thing I'm going to say is Lisa sounds like the asshole in this situation, but you got to take a step back for a second. Is she literally the only girl? Your dad and 2 sons with the only daughter? You got to imagine how alone she feels. How much she misses her mom, the only other piece of her around a bunch of men. I'm a man myself so I can't fully understand this from a woman's point of view, but look at the whole situation. She fights with Amy, and there's no other woman in her vicinity, and the last one she can remember is her mom. It makes perfect sense that she keeps thinking that you guys are all trying to push Amy to replace mom. It is really easy as a man, I think in my opinion, to love a mom, whereas the same thing with a daughter for her dad. But when it comes to vice versa, you need a real connection. Think about how you, your brother and your dad hugged. Where was Lisa in all this, right? And I'm not saying that Lisa can't come in and be a part of the core 4, but how close do you think she is as the only woman? And then the only other woman is someone she's not even related to and kind of has no choice but to accept because the rest of the core 4 accept her. Man bro, I know you really truly dislike shit your sister did, but y'all need to talk for real. And when you and your brother talk to her, don't come from a place of defending Amy because you both love her, come from a place of defending Lisa, that way Lisa can be more open to you. This is what gets me, because Lisa and Amy get along so much better than me and Seb do, until these bursts. They are few and far between, they still happen, but the default is them just huddle up in a corner reading the same book and talking a lot, going out a lot, just hanging out a lot, with Aunt as well, and Lisa makes a lot of these plans. We talked about us moving together in therapy for months, and Lisa was the first one in favor exactly because she said she wants another girl in the house. Seb and I delayed the green light because it was kind of a men's den before Amy. And like Lisa loves Amy. She says it randomly on her own, she admits it in therapy. Is she lying? And replacing mom? Like it's crazy if she feels this way. We talked about this as a family last year, and Amy was incredibly against replacing mom in any way. Her dad died when she was a child and she was like, if anyone randomly told me I would now have a new dad, I would have laughed at their face. She is so laid back on her approach to us, like it's up to us. She says she's next to dad, but not in mom's place. Like, Lisa's class did an unofficial dance last year and she was sad she wouldn't go shopping with mom, and saying how mom wouldn't be there to see her all dressed up etc. And she said all that to Amy, and Amy comforted her, told her she should wear one of mom's necklaces. Then 3 days later Amy showed her a picture of our mom at a party with our dad when they were young, and then she had found a link to a dress similar to what our mom was wearing, and asked Lisa if she wanted to wear that to the dance so she could have a little bit of your mom's energy with her. And they went and got it, and Lisa was ecstatic and like broke down and hugged Amy so hard, we had to leave them for a bit, but for real Lisa was so incredibly happy and grateful. She told us all that on her own. I don't know, I feel like defending us all of a sudden, but we have always been close, the 3 of us, and unless she's lying to everyone all the time, I have no idea where these fears come from. Update. 4 days later. I didn't expect to get as many responses with my previous post, nor did I expect that I would be back here. But it actually really helped. I don't have too big of an update yet, but a few things are happening. Not all of them are positive, but I guess at least there is a sort of plan? This is a little rushed, I'm sorry if it isn't formatted well. It was brutal reading so many comments speaking so badly about Lisa, like I know I said I hated her and I did in the moment, still do for a lot of this, but she's my sister and I do love her as well. So I think seeing so many people angry at her made me very angry and defending her. Seb as well, but I'm writing this alone so. A few people were telling us to give her some grace, and I really tried, but I was not in any place to even look at her. Seb did talk to her though, I was present, but I didn't want to engage, I was mostly there for him. It went like, we're very angry at you but you're still our sister and we love you and dad too etc. But you have to stop thinking you can do or say whatever and we'll still like you just the same and we'll always be around. She was saying that family is forever and sticks by everything together no matter what happens, they don't just up and leave, and then he told her that that's not true, it's actually kind of crazy stupid to think your family will put up with you no matter what you do. She was like, you're supposed to stick together against the stuff that comes our way and he got angry at that and told her she is the one bringing the stuff in the way, and no matter the family relationship we won't stick together with an intentional stuff stirrer so unless there's something else going on, right now she is the one in the wrong so either fess up or fix yourself. I brought up an aunt we have, dad's first cousin, who is not part of the family anymore because she was a major gossip and she lied all the time, and nobody likes her, nobody invites her around, her siblings don't talk to her, don't have her over, because sure they are family but she is always bringing stuff and drama in our lives so she was pushed aside. And we were like, don't be the person we have to push aside. But if there's something going on with Amy that we don't know you have to tell us. She was saying there isn't anything that would make sense right now. We kind of discussed Saba and the core 4 and truly we didn't really see some of y'all's point on Amy being offensive or a creep, because a lot of people called us out, me and Seb, on also being horrible to her as well, fueling the fire, and well that was a slap. And we kind of shut up about it because it was like, sure being told your dad screws me is screwed up but you all were like, we should have never said F you to her in the first place, and then we, me, Seb and Lisa, realized we have each said it at least twice so she has heard it 6 times at least, and she kept talking to us about it and we kept using it until that reply of hers, and well it worked because we haven't said it again so yeah sad that we sort of have that knowledge/image in our heads now, but also sad that it had to come to internet strangers for us to realize it worked. It was really humbling for me and Seb to realize sure this time Liza was the one that crossed the line, and usually it is her that destroys the boundaries, but the two of us haven't exactly been great at her either. I admit I cried a lot reading some of the comments, like hard crying because you were very real on how bad I've been to Amy, not just Lisa, like I didn't realize it I think it was just how we sometimes fight with dad and cousins and it hadn't registered how it must have been for Amy who was always in mediator/peacekeeping position. We went to family therapy on Tuesday and found out a few things about dad and Amy. They had actually known each other for a few months before they started dating, so they met close to 4 years ago via common friends. Dad's situation with Riley was discussed at some point and he liked Amy's perspective and approach, so they started hanging out, and then like 6 months after that started dating. They had been going to therapy together right before she was introduced to us. Every Thursday with her, every Tuesday with us. It was Amy's suggestion to help her navigate meeting us. We then talked about what the next steps are, but first what happened was Dad told Lisa again that he does love her, and he wants to understand and help but he won't always like her, and she has to understand this, and us too, that he will always love us because he is our dad not out of obligation but because that is where the source of his love stems from but sometimes as human to human he doesn't always like us for how we're behaving. He was sad he had said that to her but if I'm honest I think he deserved to say it and she deserved to hear it. We told him we love him too, and Amy as well, and we're sorry and me and Seb admitted that we have been pretty bad towards Amy. We kind of worked on this. Lisa said she wasn't ready to talk about what happened and she wanted to talk to her own therapist first and her first is tomorrow which really pissed me off. We have been in therapy as a family for years but now she will talk after she gets her own therapist? Like what the F have we been doing here all this time? Anyway we talked more about Amy and Dad's relationship and me and Seb's relationships and we concluded that we're kicking back hard still because with Riley she was so horrible we didn't feel it would make a difference if we were arguing with her because she was just bad and we would fight all the time and there was no point because she would just scream back and it lead nowhere. With Amy, it was kind of working backwards in a we feel safer being worse with her because she actually cares situation, like she's acting more like a mother figure than her, she talks it out with us and even when she pushes the issue to Dad we still have some kind of normal parent/kid arguing before it gets to that point, which is why Sabas were just so unexpected and just shut everything down because Riley would say stuff like that all the time and we didn't realize just how triggering some of the stuff we were saying to Amy was, because Riley was always saying that stuff. So I am not exactly sure what that means yet, still processing it but we apologize to Dad for also being problematic, not just Lisa, Lisa's is just more explosive, and she did apologize as well. We talked about next steps right now which is a bit complicated. Dad and Amy are both on the lease for the house, but not only is she paying more than him, like 60-40, but our landlords are close to Amy so if it came to it, which Dad assured us they are not broken up yet, we would be the ones that had to move. I know my dad isn't poor, he's a senior SWE in big tech, editor's note, software engineer, but Amy works in finance and is on some nonprofits and has like global income, so she apparently covers more of the expenses, which includes all of our hobbies etc. She doesn't want to come home right now. She discussed with her work to go on a business trip for 2 weeks, or if that doesn't pan out she will go to her home country, just to give everyone some space etc. Dad said that scared him, too much distance for too long, and he offered to pay for an Airbnb close by, but she said we all need space to recalibrate, and that he should focus on us without worrying about bumping into her at the grocery store. Dad and Amy are in low contact but are talking, which he said is good and a good thing to take some time and space, and I could tell this was a bit BS because he looked broken when saying that. I think he thinks it's over and he is losing hope and is scared she will realize she doesn't have to live with how we've been treating her, like you all said. He said she isn't someone that takes disrespect lightly, which I told him she is the absolute queen of dealing with disrespect given how she has been so patient and kind and careful with us, and he seemed to agree, but I think there's something else going on there but he wouldn't say. Anyway, she will travel for a bit. She did tell him to tell us she loves us and she is sorry she is leaving like this, she isn't checking messages at this time, and they will meet on the 26th to discuss. They had a romantic weekend planned for the long weekend and we would stay at our grandparents', and Amy moved the reservation to Dad, so we are taking Friday off and the core four will go to a cabin and just chill a bit away from the house. Lisa is sleeping today and tomorrow at her best friend's house, her suggestion, and I am also sleeping tomorrow at my cousin's and we leave Friday morning and back Monday night. That's all that has happened for now. I don't know what to expect at this time. I am just happy that Lisa will be doing individual therapy and that we are at least talking to each other a bit.